Welcome to the Creative Ideation, Problem Solving, and Multimodal Prompting module. Up to this point, we've focused heavily on structure, clarity, and systems. Now, we're going to explore the other side of prompt engineering, creative intelligence. This module is designed to show you how AI can expand your imagination, uncover new possibilities, and accelerate the creative process in ways that are difficult or impossible to achieve manually. Creativity is no longer something you wait for, it's something you engineer. In this module, you will learn how to use AI for rapid ideation, content innovation, storytelling, asset creation, and business problem solving. You'll learn how ideas move from a spark to a structure and from a structure to a finished creative asset. You'll also gain experience prompting across different modalities: text, images, audio, and video. This is the skill set that allows you to work as a creative director powered by AI, not just a prompt writer. By the end of this module, you'll be able to use AI for ideation and creative breakthrough, turn ideas into structured, usable assets, solve business challenges through prompt logic, build creative systems for content production, and prompt confidently across multiple AI tools and formats. Creativity isn't random, it follows patterns. And when you understand how to use these patterns with prompting, your output becomes more original, more compelling, and significantly faster to produce. With that foundation, let's move into the first lesson, creative ideation. AI is a powerful partner in generating ideas, expanding ideas, and opening creative pathways you may not have considered on your own. Creative ideation is a valuable skill for a prompt engineer to master because it impacts every area of business: content, product creation, messaging, storytelling, innovation, and problem solving. Ideation is not about finding the perfect idea. It's about producing many ideas quickly so that you have options. When you have options, you can evaluate, combine, refine, or eliminate until you land on something strong. Most people struggle creatively because they're trying to find a high-quality idea before generating enough ideas to compare. With AI, we flip that process. We generate first, we refine second. This is how you eliminate the creative block entirely. The first component of ideation is idea generation. Idea generation is the practice of prompting the model to quickly produce a wide set of possibilities based on a topic, a goal, or a challenge. Instead of waiting for inspiration, you engineer inspiration. When you use structured prompts for idea generation, you can instantly create multiple content angles, marketing hooks, lesson topics, product ideas, campaign directions, or brand pillars. The more structured your ideation prompt, the more original and useful the results. Idea generation, at its core, is the process of producing as many possibilities as you can without judgment, without filtering, and without trying to perfect anything. The goal is not to find the final idea. The goal is to create momentum and open the mind to multiple pathways. Most people struggle creatively because they try to generate and evaluate at the same time. They think of one idea, and before the idea even has a chance to breathe, they're already deciding whether it's good enough. That creates pressure, and pressure shuts down creativity. AI removes that pressure by giving you a place to start and by generating volume quickly, which allows you to think in abundance instead of scarcity. When we talk about idea generation with AI, we're talking about intentionally prompting the model to give you options, many options, so you can explore what resonates. Instead of asking, "What should I write?" or "What should I create?" you ask, "Give me 10 options," or "List 20 ideas," or "Generate multiple angles, formats, or variations." You're shifting from trying to find the answer to discovering possibilities. This alone changes everything. Here's the key principle. Creativity expands when the brain is not forced to produce the first idea. It is free to choose the best idea from many. AI helps you create that pool of possibilities instantly. Another important part of idea generation is diversity of thought. When you generate ideas manually, you think within your own patterns, your own experience, your own limitations. But when you generate ideas with AI, you tap into perspectives, angles, and insights that may not naturally occur to you. This is one of the biggest advantages of AI creativity. It helps you break out of your usual thinking patterns. It introduces novelty, range, and direction. You might request ideas in different formats, such as ideas based on a theme, ideas categorized by audience type, ideas organized by difficulty, ideas based on emotion or tone, ideas based on trends, or ideas inspired by other industries. This is where prompting becomes powerful. You can direct the model to explore ideas from completely new angles you may never have considered. This makes your creativity feel fresh, modern, and original, even if you're working in a familiar niche. One more important point about idea generation: speed matters. The faster ideas come, the less pressure you feel, and the more your imagination opens. AI allows you to generate 10, 20, even 50 ideas in seconds. This speed creates momentum, and momentum is a creative force. It keeps you moving, it gives you energy, it helps you shift out of overthinking and into flow. As a professional prompt engineer, your goal is not just to create ideas, but to create useful ideas. Ideas that align with your audience, your purpose, your brand, and your goals. That is why structured ideation prompts matter. You can engineer the kind of ideas you want by shaping the inputs. And the more you practice, the faster you'll recognize which ideas have potential and which ideas can be discarded. When you understand how to prompt for idea generation, you will never start a creative task from a blank page again. You will always begin with possibilities, you will always have direction, and you will always have inspiration on demand. The next component is idea expansion. While idea generation gives you quantity, idea expansion gives you depth. Expansion prompts take one idea and pull it apart from different perspectives. They help you explore variations, identify new applications, uncover hidden angles, and turn a simple concept into a robust creative asset. Expansion is what helps you develop an idea into something worth producing. You'll learn how to use prompts that stretch a concept without losing clarity or purpose. If idea generation is about producing as many possibilities as you can, idea expansion is about taking one of those possibilities and stretching it. This is where you turn a simple spark into something richer, deeper, and more fully formed. The first version of an idea is rarely the best version. Most ideas begin as a seed, small, promising, but incomplete. Expansion is the process that helps you look beneath the surface. It allows you to explore different angles, applications, and interpretations so the idea becomes stronger and more usable. When you expand an idea with AI, you're asking the model to help you unpack the idea in ways that you may not naturally think of. You're exploring possibilities, connections, and structures that aren't immediately obvious. Expansion takes you from "this could work" to "here are 10 ways this could work, and one of them is exactly what I need." Think of idea expansion as zooming in and zooming out. When you zoom in, you deepen the idea. You ask prompts such as, break this idea into key components. What problems does this idea solve? Who benefits most from this idea? What stories or examples support this idea? What variations or subtopics are connected to it? Zooming in makes the idea more detailed, more structured, and more grounded. When you zoom out, you broaden the idea. You ask questions like, what would this idea look like in another context or industry? How could this idea be simplified? How could it be expanded into a full framework, product, lesson, or series? What are unexpected or unconventional ways to use this idea? Zooming out gives you range, flexibility, and creative freedom. AI is incredibly powerful in this stage because it excels at expanding information logically and creatively. You can ask it to generate angles, metaphors, frameworks, audiences, use cases, stories, product variations, or content formats, all based on one starting idea. In just a few seconds, the idea becomes multidimensional. Expansion is also the place where you begin to see which ideas have real potential. Some ideas expand beautifully, others fall apart when stretched. That's valuable information. Expansion helps you identify which ideas are worth developing further and which ones belong in your "not right now" folder. Another important benefit of idea expansion is alignment. As you expand an idea, AI helps you match it to your brand voice, your audience needs, your mission, and your business goals. An expanded idea is no longer a generic concept. It becomes a strategic asset, something you can actually use. Expansion also supports creative confidence. When you see how many ways an idea can grow, you stop worrying about having the perfect idea on the first try. You learn to trust the creative process, you learn that ideas evolve, and you learn that with the right prompts, your ideas will always have somewhere to go. In this certification, you are not just learning to generate ideas, you are learning to transform ideas into content, products, frameworks, or solutions. Idea expansion is the bridge between brainstorming and creation. It is the step that turns possibility into clarity. When you master idea expansion, you give yourself and your clients an unlimited creative toolbox. You gain the ability to take any spark and build it into something meaningful, strategic, and valuable. Let's talk about our last component, pattern prompts for ideation. Pattern prompts are repeatable templates designed specifically for creative thinking. These include prompts such as, "Give me 10 variations." "What would this idea look like from another industry?" "Flip the problem and solve it in reverse." "Give me the unexpected angle." "Expand this idea using a framework." These patterns work because creativity itself has patterns. Once you understand how they function, you can use them to unlock new directions at any time in any field for any output. Pattern prompts are structured templates that consistently produce creative ideas because they follow predictable thinking patterns that the brain responds well to. Creativity may feel spontaneous, but in reality, creative breakthroughs often follow patterns. These patterns help you look at a topic from multiple directions, change perspective quickly, unlock variations, and generate concepts that feel fresh and original. When you embed these patterns into your prompting, creativity becomes something you can activate intentionally instead of waiting for inspiration. I want you to think of pattern prompts as mental shortcuts of creativity. Instead of trying to think of an idea from scratch, you use a pattern that guides the AI into a specific mode of thinking. Each pattern creates a different style of idea. Some expand, some simplify, some twist, some challenge assumptions, and some help you discover hidden angles. Once you learn these patterns, you can generate dozens of compelling ideas on command. Let's walk through some of the most important ideation patterns you'll use as a prompt engineer. First, there is the multiple variations pattern. This is one of the simplest but most effective patterns. When you ask the model to generate 10, 20, or even 50 variations of a concept, it begins producing ideas across different tones, audiences, and creative directions. This pattern removes creative blocks almost instantly because volume creates movement, and movement creates clarity. Point. Next is the angle shift pattern. This pattern asks the model to take the same idea and look at it from different perspectives. For example, you can ask the model how a beginner sees the idea, how an expert sees it, how a skeptic sees it, or how someone with a specific challenge experiences it. Each new perspective becomes a new idea, a new content direction, or a new product angle. Point. Another powerful pattern is the problem flip. Instead of asking the model to solve a problem directly, you flip the problem on its head. You might ask, what would happen if we approached this completely differently? Or, what is the opposite of this idea? This pattern disrupts predictable thinking and often leads to breakthrough ideas that feel unique and unexpected. Then we have the industry crossover pattern. Creativity often accelerates when you borrow ideas from outside your field. With this pattern, you ask the model to apply your topic to another industry or to use thinking styles from technology, fitness, education, finance, entertainment, or psychology. The crossover reveals fresh angles that don't naturally occur when you stay inside your own industry's norms. Another important pattern is the framework builder. Instead of asking for ideas, you ask the model to turn one idea into a structured framework, method, process, or formula. Frameworks create depth and make ideas more teachable, marketable, and scalable. This is one of the patterns that transforms loose ideas into intellectual property. There is also the story spark pattern, where you ask the model to generate stories, examples, metaphors, or analogies that illustrate your idea. Story-based ideation unlocks emotional connection and helps you communicate complex concepts in a simple and memorable way. Another useful pattern is the audience lens pattern. With this pattern, you ask the model to generate ideas tailored to specific audience segments: beginners, advanced learners, busy moms, entrepreneurs, leaders, creatives, or people facing particular challenges. Each audience lens yields a new set of highly relevant ideas. The final pattern I want to highlight is the unexpected twist. This is where you intentionally ask the model to surprise you. You might say, "Give me the unconventional angle," or "Give me the version no one expects." This pattern produces ideas that stand out, push boundaries, and help you break from generic or predictable thinking. When you combine these patterns with idea generation and idea expansion, you create a complete ideation engine, one that produces quantity, depth, originality, and strategic alignment. These patterns are the reason prompt engineers can generate high-quality creative concepts consistently. They eliminate guesswork, they unlock fresh thinking, and they give you the ability to innovate on demand. In this lesson, you learned that creativity is not something you wait for. It's something you engineer. Idea generation gives you volume. It keeps you from starting with a blank page and ensures you always have options to work with. Idea expansion takes those raw ideas and develops them, helping you uncover angles, variations, and connections you may not have seen at first. And prompt patterns give you structure. They offer predictable ways to spark creativity, shift perspective, and produce ideas that feel original and useful. When you combine these three elements, generation, expansion, and patterns, you create a complete creative engine. You're no longer trying to force creativity. You're guiding it, you're shaping it, and you're using AI as a partner in the process. Now that you understand these foundations, it's time to experience how powerful this can be in real time through our practice lab. We're calling today's lab the Idea Sprint. Here is where you'll get to practice these patterns through the Idea Sprint activity, where you'll generate 10 ideas. This exercise will help you experience firsthand how powerful structured ideation can be when supported by AI. The goal is not perfection. The goal is speed, flow, and possibility. This is a tool you can use every day in your business, especially when you need new content ideas, fresh marketing angles, or solutions to a business challenge. By practicing the Idea Sprint, you train yourself to think expansively and to rely on AI as a true ideation partner. As you work through this activity, remember this: creativity is not limited to artists or writers. Creativity is a business skill. It is a leadership skill. and when paired with AI, it becomes a repeatable system you can activate on demand. By the end of this activity, you will have mastered the foundations of engineered ideation, and you'll never face a blank page again.